Welcome everybody, a warm welcome to the Water Dragons Dragon Journeys. Here on our water quest, our connection with the deep dragons of water, we are going to spend the next few days, the next few weeks, diving into the deep energies of these primal dragon beings who have been filtering powerfully through my life over the last few weeks as we have been building up to this time together. And I'm really curious to see with you as well, whether before this weekend, during or after, how the water dragons are affecting you. It is a very effective element to be working with. You know, not only are we made up of so much water, so, you know, between 70 and 90%, depending on which studies you read. So that actually what the stirring in your blood, the stirring in your emotions, what your water in your being is singing to, is an important energy. So how you're feeling in a basic way. And also that we are very affected by water. I'm drinking my cup of tea. This is water, you know, showers, baths, rain, weather. I mean, the earth dragons are very much the physical home to us in so many ways, our support and our strength. But the water dragons are very much in our being, in our movement, in the words we use, in our flow, where we are feeling blocked, where we are feeling emotional, and maybe that the tears are coming, or maybe where we've been avoiding dealing with certain things. So there's so many ways to explore water dragon connections, and they are one of the really, especially in the East, one of the most well-known and respected aspects of the dragons. When I say respected, I mean, you know, rituals and offerings being given to them regularly in the past. And I think in some places still today. So this is our time together, and what we're going to be looking at with the water dragons is, of course, we're going to go into connecting and honouring those sacred places in nature. And two of the cards that I've pulled for us for this are exceptionally nature power. You know, this is the water, like when we look at every element, you know, when we look at every aspect of the world around us, we are being called to this work not only for our spiritual being, not only for our own healing, but to be helping the good fight. To be aware through awareness of what we are doing to our water supplies, to what we are doing to pollute and block the land. And I know Dr. Emoto, who's now passed, did those amazing experiments, whatever you think of them, those amazing experiments with the words on the water. And you've probably seen them, so if you haven't, do look them up. But I did go to a talk and a workshop by Dr. Emoto, was it about 11, maybe 11, 12 years ago. Maybe longer, but around that time, doesn't really matter. And we went to I went to the same spot the other week, so it reminded me. We went the next day to the Thames, and we did our chanting to the water of the Thames, and it was just such a powerful and beautiful thing. So Dr. Emoto's experiments, which, you know what, whatever you think of, they do absolutely no harm and can only do good, was that water is affected by words, by thought, by intention, I think by emotion. The one bit I didn't like is apparently water doesn't like metal music. And I'm like, yes, water would like heavy metal music. Why would it not? But maybe the energy of the stirring and the breaking of the crystals with that was because that sometimes that music stirs us up to transform. Anyway, I'm jumping the gun. That was just my one thing that I remember. I was like, well, I thought the water crystals might like metal music. Anyway, back to the point. He played the water music, and he put words in different languages on a test tube of water, and did it in a controlled environment, and then examined the water crystals. And it's really worth looking up if you haven't seen them. I'm sure you have. How beautiful the gratitude ones were, how beautiful the love ones were, and how horrible those nasty words that we often say to ourselves were, and how it disintegrated this essence. So I just wanted to bring that in as how we'll work with water is through our intentions, through that healing of ourselves by what me and my friends did. I haven't done it for a while, so it's a good reminder for me as well, is to write thank you or I love you on your bottle of water. Tape it on so no one else can see it on the outside, absolutely fine. And what's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to drink some water that's been imbued with gratitude and love. So also one thing that I've done in the past as well is knowing that because of the nature of water, if you send healing to one bit of water, it will have a knock-on effect to others. Maybe just one person doing it we're thinking isn't going to save the world, but what if everybody started doing it? And there have been tests and experiments done around polluted water, but actually doing that healing through the water has actually cleared the water. So these are just some things, just some ideas, some pointers of working with this water dragon energy within the land around us. Every bit of water could do with a bit of help. And if actually the water where you are is actually doing quite well, just sending that healing to that water can permeate through to a place where that water is needing healing. But I reckon the way as humans are working, all water needs healing, needs light. Again, this is also bringing consideration to what we're putting in the water as well, because what came through with the cards, which I'll show in a bit, they're quite earth warriors, they're quite like getting things in balance, that things that have been done cannot be undone, but we are here in this moment to make better decisions, to choose better, to heal better. So not only will using that water healing energy be a connective force for you and the dragons, like for sure, the dragons are going to be called to you because they're going to see somebody that is deeply connecting in and healing and working with the water. So that's going to be something they are going to be drawn to you for. Of course, we're able to heal ourselves in the same way. So we are able to send that healing to the place, attract the energy of the dragons, commune with the dragons through spending that time meditating, through healing, through chanting, even if there's a chant or a mantra that you like to use, a Reiki chant, a Reiki mantra, or a yoga, whatever you use personally, it's the intention that is the important thing that creates the beautiful sound. Or to just sing a song to the river. It doesn't have to be I'm probably more going to do that, it's not a well-known chant, but you could just if you don't have any, if you feel a bit stuck, you're like, okay, I'll just or just to the river and just sending, or to the lake or the pool and using your hands to send that light inwards. But you can just sing your own song that comes to you, an intuitive song for the river, because rivers do like songs. So yeah, this is a beautiful time to think about the energy and the effect that you're having on the water and that you're having on your own water. So there's no point going around, well, there is point, but going around healing the water and sending love and healing and then coming home and having a go at yourself. Like, oh, I'm so rubbish. Oh, I did that wrong today. Oh, what a twit I am. I'm using kinder words we probably use for ourselves. So the harder work is also going in and sending that gratitude, that love, that healing to our own flow, our own, and our flow meaning how we're feeling in our cycles of life as well. So these are some of the ways to dive in. Find a place of water. This could be a pond in your garden or a water feature. Across the road just there is where I shall be aiming it, because it's pretty just literally across the road. I'll do a video in the week. It's not the most impressive, but it's nice. It's really nice. And it's part of the reason I'm here, I think, that there is this stream that runs down from the hills and it comes down through the village and it goes just opposite my house. And it's a beautiful sound. It's beautiful water. It has that rushing, like I've just come down from the hills kind of water. It's a good feeling. And every time I kind of feel a bit stuck or flat, I just think of that water and just think of where it's come from and the energy of it's flowed all that way. Just has been unspoiled. It's come from nature. It's come from the wilds and come straight here. So to go to, or there's also, of course, I'd like to go to the sea this week as well. That's kind of a plan. Or to a lake, a waterfall. Where have you got near you? An ocean, a stream, a river in your local town, to just open that connection. You can speak to the dragons. You can ask for them to join you. You can try to connect with the dragon spirit of that water, because all rivers and streams and bodies of waters they could be sleeping, but they have dragon guardians, and you can work with them. Maybe you'll find the right spot. Maybe you'll go to one bit of the river and it doesn't feel quite right, but that's okay. You can go then to the next bit of the river and find where it feels right for you to work. So work very intuitively, because of course intuition is the heart of this work as well. It is the sign, the element of intuition, and it's the sign and the element of trusting your inner self and your flow. So I'm excited to make some deep connections with the water. Sometimes we need a little bit of a push to do something we know we need to do. Sacred springs also, of course, are, and there's maybe sacred springs near you that have been forgotten about. There could be little kind of, they once were loved, they were once given lots of energy, but now not so much. So remember, these dragon journeys are quests. They are our own journey, but there is something about the land that feels very, very important for us to work with. And we don't, if it's not accessible to leave the house with it, also that is fine. As I mentioned, a water energy can connect with all other waters. So you grab water in a way that you can. Could be storm water, could be rainwater that you can collect in a bowl. Tap water is a little bit harder because of the chemicals that are in it. So we'd probably want to do a bit of healing on the water before we want to work with it magically, because of the amount of just to clear the water. So doing the gratitude, the love, the chanting Om over the water will help if you're going to work magically with tap water. As we know, anyone that's done Wicca or paganism in circle, that it is the water that will attract things to it, and not always will pick up things. Like, it's the healing element. It will take the crap away, which is wonderful. But if you're going to work with it, you may want to kind of, okay, that crap can go now. Don't need to work with that crap. So kind of maybe finding ways of rainwater or storm water, because weather dragons are very much linked, are very much a part of this dragon water work. And particularly in all lands, but we are lucky with the Eastern mythology because they stayed kinder to the dragons for a lot longer. So we have a lot more. And the Eastern and Western dragons are biologically, sort of not biologically, but like physically, they've come through to us in different ways. But we've got the stories of the dragons in the East, and they were worked with and honoured and also appeased, because we're talking about weather magic and storms. And so there are dragons that are seen as quite changeable if we're looking at weather dragon magic. And of course, if we've had a lot of rain, which we have had a lot of rain, I don't know about you guys, but here in the UK, this summer has been rainy AF and not particularly summery for the most part. Maybe you want to appease the rain dragons, the weather dragons. Going to places of offerings to the water dragons. It helps to kind of encourage better weather. If there's terrible storms all the time, maybe the water dragons or the weather dragons are angry, and they could do with a little bit of appeasing or talking to. What do you need? What is wrong? Maybe there's an anger or something that's happened. You're like, what do you need? And the thing is, with all connections that we have, when we are connected with a being, a companion, a guardian, a dragon, and those relationships are neglected, then of course, the dragon gets angry or distant or hard to deal with. So reconnecting with those energies is part of what we are doing. We're finding the dragons that want to work with us and help us to restore more balance. And that feels a really important part of this work, both spiritually, emotionally, and within the world around us. So you've got the weather dragons, who you can be aware of in a big storm, in a summer rain. Dragons aren't always like there to annoy you. I can imagine a lovely summer rain or a beautiful breeze, or the storm when you need the changes to come. That dragons are known for being the guardians and the kings of rivers. So they also work with the earth dragons in directing the water through the land. And I know that we've worked with ley lines with earth dragons, but of course ley lines are often dictated by underground, guess what, water sources. So the water, and as we know that we divine for water when people have used divination tools like oh my gosh, I've got loads of them. The dowsing rods, sorry, my brain. So yeah, with dowsing rods, you're dowsing for water a lot of the time. So yes, the ley line work was part of the earth dragon work, but it's very much also a part of the water dragon work. So dowsing and following the underwater currents is a powerful way of connecting with the water dragons as well. And knowing that the water and the earth dragons are working together in the land, directing the flow. And also springs have their own dragon guardian, and lakes, and of course oceans. Now here comes my personal thing that I was always if there was an element of a dragon that came up in a journey that would freak me out, it would be the water dragon. I think, well, it all sounds very nice, Laura, why would you be afraid of the water dragon? In my journeys, I saw the ocean in this vast, unfathomable space, which is the ocean. It's huge, and I love it, and I find it fascinating. But the idea of this power that was so huge, it would come up from these depths, and maybe like not be happy, because again, this is my journey as it came through. It was just this raw energy appearing from the water, and it was humongous. Oh, I was like, oh my God, that's a lot. And of course, symbolically, waters, emotions, things coming up from the depth that scare us. It's all in ourselves, but actually that idea of that huge creature coming up, and it was stirring up a lot for me personally. So we may all have elements that do stir up stuff for us in fear or in personal blocks and things we don't want to deal with. And maybe it's fire for a lot of people, kind of water. These can be the elements which we have love for, but danger from as well. So, and also, when I think about things overwhelming, I think of them as tidal waves. So there's that element of water being overwhelming, which I know is emotional, and also kind of maybe a collective memory of tidal waves that have been pretty bad. So that power of water, that as much as water is one of my favourite elements, and I love being in water, and I love swimming and playing, that there is this power that it is just everything. And when it grows, it will take down everything in its path. It's just a lot to think about in a good way. It's powerful, and I think we can get caught up in either side. Like I think for a while I was like, water dragons, whoa! But actually I love water, and so there's elements of just okay, right? There's the playful, joyful, protectors, refreshing, cleansing, healing water dragon. But we can also get caught up in that side and go, there's powerful oceans of transformation. Everything you've ever felt and experienced could come up from the depths of the ocean. The dragons are primal beings of the cosmos. They're primal beings of earth and stars. We are mortals that pop around for a bit and go. To connect with them is to connect with this ultimate power. And I know we know this by this point, but it's a reminder from the water dragons. There's this, our souls are immortal, we come back, but for our lives we get to touch or experience something so powerful with the dragons. It's never going to be like untransformative. It's always going to disturb our status quo. And I mean disturb in a great way, but also with that water dragon feeling, it can be like, oh God, what's coming up? So just a warning, there could be things coming up. It's probably already happened. But also they are the most healing, cleansing, flowing, wonderful healers. And when we've got to grips with our own fears, that power is ours to connect with on a deeper level. And I think about the luck energy of the water dragons as well, and the the wishing well, like the kind of being able to make those wishes. Again, doing the work, being aligned and making those wishes. So that's something we can really do as well over this next few weeks, days, is make those wishes. And also something with that, I was remembering Spirited Away. I don't know if you've seen that film. I love Spirited Away. It's one of my favourite animations. It's beautiful, and that the dragon in it was a river dragon, and he'd forgotten his name and he'd forgotten the river he was coming from. But he was, and the little girl in it, she'd fallen into the river and he'd saved her when she was a child. So there's that kind of feeling of river magic and maybe almost loss of self with the dragons and with us. But I want to talk about with the dragons for a second, this sort of loss of self. The feeling of, with the dragons, with the land, the amnesia. I was reading a story about the dragons and in China and how the people tamed them and they became sleepy and they lost their primal power and therefore they got caught and then they ended up being killed. Great story, Laura, I know. But at one point, a spirit dragon came in a sky dragon and said, "Come on, dragons, be free, remember yourselves. And they kind of like, they were just lazy and fat, maybe depressed, maybe overcontent, overeating. Maybe their wings got a bit flabby and floppy. And they were like, we're not flying. Oh, we've forgotten like who we are. And the dragons are also really prophetic. So they said, you know, if you stay here and you don't remember yourselves, you're going to get captured, you're going to get killed, you're going to die. No, go away, dragon. So he flew off effortlessly into the sky. And of course, the prophecy came true. The emperor who had created this lovely captive garden for the dragons was captured by another emperor. I don't know the rules of it all, but who therefore killed his family, took everything, killed everything, and took the dragons as a curiosity, who were then cooked and eaten. Ew. So there's so many messages and lessons for that, and the feeling is that we can sort of see this as that the dragons aren't captive, but there's something, sometimes the lethargy, that energy in the land has been disturbed and it's been sort of brutalized or kind of built over and not respected. And so the dragons in some ways have become a little disconnected, sometimes a little sleepy, sluggish, needing waking up. And also ourselves, we're kind of captive, aren't we? We're kind of captive in our roles, what we have to do, or if we don't do that, then we lose this. And so there's a sense of captive that can also make us floppy and flabby, and our wings a little bit meh. So the spirit dragon, the air dragon, the dragons full stop are coming through to go, remember who you are. Remember, it may be uncomfortable. It may take, stirring up the water, stirring up the emotions, but to do that now and to remember freedom and flight and power is better than to be caught and nom-nommed. I mean, not biologically, practically with us, but, there's an element of real truth there, isn't there, in that. Some of it went on a bit longer than I thought, talking about all this stuff, but it's deep stuff. And also I'm going to make another video tomorrow. It'll be slightly different layout, I think, because I've got so much to talk about. Lucky you, about dreaming. So get your dream journals out. That can be literally a notepad, a bit of paper. It doesn't have to be anything specific. But we're going to do another little video on dreaming and intuition tomorrow. And there's a meditation coming. And just meditation tomorrow and meditation. I'm doing one just now. And then also we need to get the dates for our live. So I will talk to you in the group about that. But there's so much magic, and I'm really, for the one element that I was a bit like, ooh, it's not my favourite, because water is one of my favourite elements. Me and water is a very happy creature. But through the journeys I've had with the water dragons, it's brought up stuff. So hence before this week, I'd had a flood of something because I've got a blockage. Then there's something else with water, 3 things with water happened. And when I realised it, I just started giggling. I was like, oh, yeah, that's it. So here are the cards we have. We have the Gaia card that came through. And also from lovely Naomi's deck, here we go, we had nature. Oh, so you can see it properly. Look at that. So it's almost the earth dragons. There's dragons on this illustration as well. So very earth. But the respect and honouring and power of nature. With the Gaia card, this is all about remembering work. It's through our own sort of spiritual eco-warrior energy of cleansing. Please do a little blessing on the water. This can be your tap water, or it can be a river or a stream. Please send love to a body of water. This is the first step of something that is looking really healing. We've got a full moon coming up next week. We could even kind of think about a little ritual for the water for them. But the land and the earth dragons and the water dragons are working together so beautifully for us to connect and heal and collectively do this for ourselves, but also for the land. So I will now stop this, but I have a little journey that I want to do here. I want to do it now and here. So the next part of this video will be a little meditation, little journey to connect, because what I want to do first with this is to do a bit of a cleansing. Let's clear some stuff out with the water dragons. So get comfy, get relaxed, get into a space where you can receive, and we're going to do our water dragon journey number 1. Again, nice and comfortable, nice and relaxed. Let's take a few cleansing breaths. Remembering our body is made of water. Remembering the flow within us, and that each breath allows us to clear that flow, clear the wellspring inside of us, and to release anything that we are ready to release. Anything that is gone, that is used, that is releasable, that is transformed, off and out it goes and flows. And we're going to connect with the water dragons. And we're going to ask for a healing, a cleansing, a clearing of our body and of our aura, of our energy, of our soul, within and without. And so, as we close our eyes, and allow the breath to sink deeper into our body, and feel the water within flowing around us, singing to the rivers, singing to the ocean. We feel our connection with the earth. We feel our connection with the rivers, with the streams, the water that we drink, the oceans we swim in. And we feel those roots that connect us to the earth, deeply drinking deep of the waters of the underground streams. And we feel the moisture in the air, like rain, mist, sweat, tears on our skin. And we see a mist, a watery white mist flow all around us. And this mist moves us from where we are. This mist transforms our surroundings. And when that mist begins to clear again, we find ourselves standing or kneeling by a cool stream. The waters are flowing fast, and we dip our feet or our fingers into the stream. The cold water makes us giggle, smile. This is mountain streams, mountain water. And as you look up to your left, you see the hills and the mountains from which this water originates. From the top, it is like a glacier, a lake or a pool. And the water pours down the mountain via waterfalls and streams, down the hills. It snakes, and then it comes to this forest, this space where you have entered. And you place your hands in it once more and feel the energy of the mountain, of the waterfall. And you follow the stream along. You maybe walk in the water or walk by the side, listening to the singing, dancing water. And you follow the water towards the hills, towards the mountains. And as you do, you look up and you realize you're at the foot of a waterfall. It could be a vast waterfall or a gentle trickle. And this water has come directly from the top of this magical mountain. When you watch, you look at the beauty of the mountain, of the nature all around you, of the weather, the trees, the birds. And as you look up to the top, you see something moving within the water, in the top of the lake or the glacier or the stream. You become aware of a presence, and you see a dragon, the guardian dragon of this place. And as you watch this dragon, who has been watching you from the moment you arrived, perhaps before, they effortlessly glide down the stream, down the waterfalls. They flow like the water, and they get closer, and they stop at the top of a waterfall, and they show you their shimmering scales. They show you the vast beauty of them, and they watch you, both of you eyeing each other, making sure it's safe to approach. And then once more the dragon playfully leaps into the water and flows and falls and glides down the water to just in front of where you stand. And here you see, you feel, you hear the presence of this water dragon. This is the sacred guardian of the mountain rivers. This pure dragon of water and land and air has come down the mountain to grant you a healing. And so spend this time to connecting with this dragon. Listen, speak, just share this time with each other before they perform their healing upon you. And the dragon gestures for you to step towards them, to step towards the water that tumbles from above. This is their blessing, that the water that falls upon you, the water you bathe in this sacred pool, will heal a deep wounding, will clear a blockage, will remove any attachments or worries or fears, will release a pain, will bless your day, will bring you joy, will remind you of your heart's true joy and desire. And you can choose what you wish this water to do for you, or you can be open to whatever the dragon wishes to bring you. And they open their wings, or they rise up, and they shine and glimmer in the water and in the light. Pearlescent beauty and power. And the water flows over them, and they channel it over you. They place their great wings or claws or hands over your head and allow the water to flow over you. But first, the water doesn't seem to touch you, as it is clearing the energetic body. It is clearing the aura, the space around you. And so you allow the water to flow through your energy body, taking away or blessing whichever you have chosen to receive. Maybe a bit of both. And then the water comes, it brushes across your skin, Now the work goes to your body, your physical self. Any aches or pains, any blocks or fears that are held in your body, this water with the blessing of the dragon will be released and removed, cleansed and cleared. And you may say any words you wish to, any affirmations, or just silently receive this cleansing. Oh, 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 And then the water seems to move inwards, flowing through your thoughts, through your throat, through your heart, the depth of you, your tummy, through your womb, through your pelvis, through down, your toes into the earth. And this is a deep healing, a deep releasing or blessing, something moving deep within. You stand in the water. The water again seems to flow around you. And as the dragon stands above you, they are pouring a light into your aura, into your body, into your heart. And this light is protecting, blessing, and healing every part of you. And this light will allow you to heal, to feel safe, to feel protected and light and bright. And then you hear a sound as the water dragon begins to flow away from you. This work that has been done. And they ask you to stay here in this space as long as you need and to return whenever you wish. And even if the dragon isn't here when you return, this place will hold healing for you. And you say any words or share any last thoughts with the dragon as they flow down the river, down the stream, out to the mouth of the ocean where they are meeting with other dragons, and maybe telling them of your presence in their world. You look up and you see what looks like dragons of the air in the sky. And you feel the presence of the dragons of the earth in the rocks. and the dragons of the fire and the warmth of the sun. And you take as long as you need to leave this pool, to leave this sacred space, and to walk back down the river, down the stream, putting your hands or your feet in the water as it flows to awaken your energy. And while you're looking at the land around you, that mist begins to flow all around, and that mist carries you away from the mountain and the stream, back safely and strongly into your home. And take some deep breaths. And whenever you're ready, open your eyes, have a good shimmy shake, maybe stamp your feet, have something to drink, and as you drink, think about the flowing healing of the water dragon. Maybe you want to bless your beverage. If you eat something, and know that was quite a big healing. So maybe you want to wrap yourself in a blanket or go into the garden or just take it a little bit easy. Try not to rush into doing a lot of things after this. Journal, take time, take care. And I will see you all really soon to connect more with the dragons of water. Take care, everybody.